Oh, nothing makes me sadder than the agent lost his bladder in the airplane.
Or in this case, nothing makes me sadder than watching two middle-aged, self-indulgent men sat opposite each other for a creator-to-creator talk, because the two gentlemen I'm talking about in question, Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog, and the other one is Alex Garland, the man who gave you The Beach and much later on gave you Civil War. Not that Civil War with Captain America and Iron Man. No, this Civil War.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
24 hours ago, and I'm surprised not many people are talking about this, but Neil Druckmann brought up the conversational point of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And just to remind you about that trailer, here it is once more with feeling. Yep, that's Titi Gabrielle, the actress they mo-capped for this special moment, where, by the way, she's using the man's razor the wrong way round. So exactly what they were going for, I have no idea. But this interview that we're about to watch the last segment of, the conversation is brought up about this game. So I'm going to have a good old laugh ripping into these two gentlemen, especially Neil Druckmann, who still can't sit in front of a camera and talk with confidence. He still sounds like an absolute beta cuck, which is hilarious. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, and cast her away, cast him away, cast it away. I'll catch you after these opening titles.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
Who?
Jack Burton. Me.
They hunted him down. They murdered his friends. And they took the only thing he would kill for.
You know this guy?
Yeah, but I'm not proud of it.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job.
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Fuck you, asshole.
So watch out for him and his babes of the 1980s. Hail to the Jason King, baby.
It's all in the reflexes.
So here we are, and now this is, right, 31,000 views later, folks. It's only gotten 2,600 votes and 621 downvotes. So that's all the metrics you need to go by at the moment, right? So here we go. This interview is actually 53 minutes in total. And at around the 43-minute mark, which I've kind of bookmarked for myself right here, Neil brings up the topic of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
SB stick, and I didn't know I was thinking about that, but it turns out it was, and it all just arrives really as a narrative. And from that point on, to be honest, better or worse, I don't really change it. It is what it is.
I've been working on this project at Naughty Dog for 4 years now. We just announced it. It's called Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
It's our venture into more sci-fi stuff.
What kind of sci-fi? Like?
It's the kind, Mr. Garland, that you don't write about anymore because he gave us Annihilation, didn't he? And that was a load of shite. This is the same guy, by the way, who wrote Dread in 2012. How do you go from Dread to this?
Judgment time.
I don't get it, but I digress. And yeah, in case you're wondering what it is, Alex, probably watch the trailer and then maybe think, you know what, that was good. I'm just going to take a pass, bro.
I mean, obviously, I know you, but is it like, you talking deep space? Are you talking about, is it Earthbound?
No, it's a deep anus.
It's not Earthbound. It takes place 2,000 years in an alternate future that deviates in the late 80s.
Wow.
And we spent...
So already, Neil Druckmann is going to destroy my favorite decade ever, which is the 80s. But apparently, it's an alternate version of the 80s. So in other words, things that we used to enjoy back in that decade, he's going to course correct. So it's this alternative version of a very decadent and very bawdy decade, right? We all remember the 80s. If you lived in that decade like I did, you know exactly where I'm coming from.
Like years just coming up with that timeline, and it's dealing with, it's funny, it's like I joke about this with the team. It's like, oh, we made a game with The Last of Us 2, we made certain creative decisions that got us a lot of hate. A lot of people love it, but a lot of people hate that game.
Yeah, because it's a fucking dog shit game, that's why. Sure, the mechanics are pretty good, but it becomes almost torture porn when you watch it. Killing after killing, bloodshed everywhere. And Neil Druckmann endorses that kind of thing in a video game. And plus, Abby, the man-flu giant, has a very, shall we say, casual encounter, which is just filthy to look at. It really is. And you're wondering, with the way Abby Johnson looks, if it's more like a man as a woman, if you get my drift. It's almost like it's propagating that ideology, which I can't stand, especially in a video game.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
So there you have it, folks. Neil Druckmann hates you because everybody hated The Last of Us Part 2, the video game, which only got worse with the live-action TV series. So yeah, fuck it. Who cares? We're going to make a game where Tati or Titty Gabrielle, the female bounty hunter with no tits, is on a isolated planet that's been abandoned for 6 million years. Some convoluted nonsense like that, right? So why should we care what the players care about? The same customer fan base, Neil, that you alienated a long time ago. So yeah, screw this game. Nobody cares. You know what? It might actually have good, maybe great gameplay, but I'm going to predict now this game's going to be about 40 hours plus, and by the end of it you'll be thinking, why the f did I play this game? I think when I look at it in the grand scheme of things, Druckmann sees himself not only as a messiah, but someone's already beaten him to that goalpost. He's called Hideo Kojima. Death Stranding 2 had a preview trailer about 2 days ago, and that's gotten quite a bit of reaction and maybe some traction as well.
So the joke is like, you know what, let's do something that people won't care as much about. Let's make a game about faith and religion. So there is just, we not only in this alternate history timeline, we've made this where the timeline deviates, this new religion becomes pretty prominent. And then we spend years just building out this religion of like from the original.
Isn't this new religion called wokeism? Is this new religion going to be steeped in communism? I'm willing to bet that it is. It's Neil Druckmann's religion because he wanted you to play the game, and then by the time you finished your God knows what 40-hour experience, you'll become a mind hive zombie. You'll be walking around your local neighborhood because this game told me to do things when it was just meant to be a video game. That's what I think.
Original prophet, all the way how it gets like changed and sometimes bastardized and evolves over all these years, and then like all these people from this.
How many? You said 2,000 years.
2,000.
Coincidentally, 2,000 years.
Coincidentally, 2,000. And this whole religion takes place on this one planet, and then at one point, all communication stops from this planet.
Nice.
And you're playing a bounty hunter that's chasing her bounty, and she crash lands on this planet. And it's, and I really wanted to make a game about faith and religion, but also about
this. It sounds
just being lonely. So many of the previous games we've done, there's always like an ally with you, and you're talking. Like, I really want you to be lost in a place that you're really confused about what happened here. Who are the people here? What was their history? And in order to get off this planet, like again, no one has been heard from this planet for 600 years. So if you ever have hoped to have a chance to get off, you have to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I just want you guys to see the beginning of this interview because holy shit, man. Creator versus creator, okay.
I started out long time, like 30 years ago as a novelist. Then one of the books got made into a film, and I sort of saw the collegiate atmosphere of filmmaking, and then I started writing screenplays. I wrote screenplays for a while.
This was The Beach?
The Beach, yeah, that's right. And then, wrote a screenplay, which was 28 Days Later. And wrote screenplays for a number of years, and then started directing, and have also worked a little tiny bit in comic books and a little bit in video games. I'm a big gamer, and one of the various reasons I'm so thrilled to meet you, being such a fan for such a long time. And
oh my God, I mean, shall I leave you two guys in a room together so you can rub one off against each other? Because that's the kind of feeling I got throughout this whole interview. It's like, oh my God, you're so awesome, you really are. Oh my goodness me, Jesus Christ. I mean, the self-flatulent, congratulatory nature of these two guys in the same room, holy hell, man. It's what I've always said as well, actually. You can be locked in a room with probably the most nicest person that you can think of. I guarantee after half an hour you want to blow that person's head off with a whatever. Do you know what I mean? They'll drive you to the brink of insanity. Waiting for Godot is probably a very good example of that. And I will say that the Heretic Prophet, so it's an alternate 1980s, some 2,000 years ago or after. Oh my God, who cares? Who cares? You're stuck on a lonely planet that no one's heard of for 600 years, but the only way for you to get off that planet is to find out why all the communications have shut down. It just sounds... You know what? If this was in the hands of another video game developer, might have sounded interesting. But again, folks, here's a quick sizzle reel of what we saw in that trailer for the Intergalactic Prophet, because nah, bro. You're just selling us an ideology of a very ambiguous looking, very unattractive female character. At least Neil actually established in this interview that, Tati Gabrielle is in fact playing a female in his game, despite the actress in real life is actually supposed to be non-binary and all this dog shit. And she's a terrible actress, but obviously now has become quite the ally and the mouthpiece for Mr. Neil Druckmann. So what do you think, folks? Was this on your radar? I'm surprised many people in my sphere hasn't covered this, but hopefully I'll get this video out soon and then you can judge for yourself. But on that one, folks, if you were me and if I were you, please leave a comment below. Please hit the subscribe button, and maybe if you want to, go to the join button. But I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from other stories, and I don't like what I see. More specifically, I'm talking about our female characters. And whether we want to admit it or not, these are role models. And yet we sexualize, we objectify, we marginalize, and we reduce these female characters to a lot less than they can be. And this is coming from a guy that almost made a really misogynistic game. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So once this thing failed and I had this awakening, almost exactly the same